r/AskReddit by Redmond Dts. What's the wildest I should not have hooked up with the moment you've ever had? Some woman in the local pub old enough to be my mum. Turns out, she was married to the pub landlord, and the entire pub knew about it before he did. Never went back. Used to be a regular at a bar. Got an opportunity to hook up with one of the other regulars at my bar. With no clothes and ready to stick it in, she said, "It's been a while since I got tested." I heard it, but horny brain went for it anyways. Got STDs. Not worth it. Met my ex-wife at the same bar where I had previously met a serial killer. Should have been a sign. When I woke up in the middle of the night to her pissing in her cat's litter box. Hooked up with an older woman I met at a hotel bar. We went back to her room after a few drinks and had the best sex of my entire life all night long. When we got up in the morning and got dressed, she casually pulled a wedding ring out of her pocket and slipped it on her finger. I've never felt shittier as a person as I did in that moment. The second girl who picked me up in group therapy. Also probably the first girl who picked me up in group therapy. Not me, but the story is hilarious, so I thought I'd tell it. There was this dude we'll call Carlos in my friend group who was normally very extroverted, but one day everyone was hanging out, and he just wasn't his usual easygoing self. Everyone was trying to get him to talk, but he was tight-lipped. After a few beers he spilled the beans. Carlos had recently taken a girl home from this Mexican bar and grill type place. They had been drinking all night, and she was DTF. They were going pretty hard I guess, and she revealed that she was really into anal. Really into it. He'd never done it before, so he was going at it like a jackhammer. She told him to stop, then got up and ran for the bathroom, leaving a trail of shit from his bed to the toilet. She finished, came back, and started to apologize, but before she could get through her apology, the booze and Mexican food hit again. She whipped around to go back to the bathroom, and as she did so, she sprayed shit everywhere. He ended up throwing out a rug and most of his bedding. Looks like Carlos wasn't the only person who spilled the beans. There was this Latina girl working at a hostel near my hometown who invited me over one night. We ended up crashing in this tiny old caravan, and I stayed until morning. While we were having breakfast, one of the co-workers she usually hung out with walked in. Turns out it was my ex. The one I'd had a messy breakup with 3 years earlier. The whole vibe changed instantly, and yeah, nobody looked too thrilled. Don't leave us on edge. What did your ex say? I'm curious. Well, mostly yelling, calling me a piece of shit, etc. She really thought I did it on purpose, and kinda was a person that had the feeling everyone was against her. Shortly after she ignored the Latina as well. Girl allowed the dog in the room. And was annoyed at me shooing him away from us mid-screwing. I imagine that was awkward. Having sex in front of pets feels like a crime honestly. Don't knock it until you've had the unexpected ass lick while dicking down Firmoma. Ruined the mood in a hurry. 23-year-old me meets super cute neighbor. He's Latvian. We flirt for weeks and end up just hanging out, drinking beer. Thunderstorm starts and we are running and splashing in puddles. Honestly the most fun I've ever had with a man. We are sitting on the stoop chatting, and he brings up his ex he met in the military, asks me if I'd marry him for 20 grand to give him permanent residency and divorce him in a year. And then casually mentions he's an artsy, and does an artsy salute. Got drunk at a bonfire that my buddy was having, and his sister kept flirting with me, to the point that it made me feel as if I was that hot. Well, long story short, we had rough drunk sex in the back of my Jeep, and the next day she told me in a very stern and serious tone that she was hepatitis B positive. I went straight to the health clinic and got tested. Luckily I didn't catch anything. I even went back and got checked again about a week later just to make sure. Probably the 18-year-old that delivered pizza to our boat in Seattle after I had been gone for 6 months. She said I had beautiful eyes, so I got her number. Fast forward to being at her house balls deep when she tells me to take the condom off. I laugh and ask if she's on the pill, knowing full well I'm not going to unwrap. She looks me dead in the eyes and says no she isn't. I laugh again and say no way. She then reaches down and tries to start taking my condom off, saying I need your cum in me. I go from midnight to 6 and pull out, and I'm pulling my pants on as she starts screaming at me that her uncle who is in MS-13 is going to find me and kill me. I go, what the F are you talking about? She points at a photo near her door with her and a guy with a golden AK to all get out. I didn't bother hanging around and had a discussion with the gate guards at my workplace about a Domino's delivery driver. He finished on my chest and the drew little hearts in his stuff instead of getting me a towel. I was United States Navy. Met an older lady through my best friend's girlfriend. Went to her apartment to move some furniture for her. We had sex. Found out afterwards that she was married and her husband was deployed. Probably the worst I've ever felt about myself. Hooked up with this chick a few apartments down. The next day, while I was at work, she tried to move in. Luckily my roommates at the time were smart enough to stop her. Best friend's ex. They'd been split for several months, and I knew it was a bad idea, but I was 17 and ridiculously horny. I later found out she told him that the only reason she was with him was to get close to me. She turned out to be a little crazy and very possessive, punched me in the back of the head, and ripped my shirt off at a party, and then pulled the old fake pregnancy card after we broke up. When she said, "Use me as your toilet daddy," and knelt down with her mouth open like a baby chick begging for food, I noped the F out of there. Hooked up with a coworker, kind of, twice. Things went from bad to worse, and my other coworker ended up letting me know that the guy was telling people at the work bar that I couldn't get wet for him. Later yet another coworker asked me who my least favorite coworker said. I told him I didn't have a problem with anyone. He immediately looked to the guy, laughed, and asked if I was sure. To this day I'm still not sure everything that was said about me, but even if I were single now, I would never touch a coworker again. The cute barista of my favorite coffee spot. She was super out of my league and I feel hard for her. But I was just a distraction for her after her breakup with her ex. Lost my coffee spot, quite some self-esteem. The worst part is that the coffee spot is on my way to work, and I have to actively avoid her to not see her. I noticed multiple roaches crawl out from under her couch while she was blowing me. Talked to a woman from another state I met on Tinder. Drove 80 miles to hook up, got a motel room because she lived with her mom. We get to getting it on, and she's like no kissing and no going down on me. I couldn't really get into it and imagine that's what it feels like having sex with a prostitute. 0 out of 10 would bit recommend. I should have probably asked about no-goes before traveling an hour and a half and wasting money on a room. Hooked up with a guy I met on Reddit. I was visiting family in another state and he flew out to meet me for a day. We had crazy sex, but he was an absolute psychopath. He also had some sort of god complex and couldn't fathom why I didn't want a relationship with him. Random girl. In the morning she mentions her husband. "You are married?" "Yeah, but don't worry, he doesn't get out for 6 months." When we finished the deed, and it was heavy indeed, and she immediately broke down crying and blaming me for her father raping her. It was odd. Gave a bartender head in the disgusting, closed off bathroom in the back of the bar for a bottle of top shelf tequila for my friends. It was hot, but honestly very slutty, even for me, and I had to deal with him calling me drunk at 4 am midweek for weeks afterwards, begging for a repeat. This one time mid hookup, she grabbed me by the throat, digging her nails in, and said, "If you talk to any other girl after this, I'll slit your throat." This was in the middle of a house party. I bailed pretty quick. She then went to my friends, crying and asking, "Why does every guy run away after?" That's all folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more? Have a nice evening.